Welcome to Wealth Expansion Weekly. It's another week of exciting shifts and changes as we create a new solid foundation in leadership and sovereignty. Be ready for some twists and turns throughout this week, climaxing with the momentum-powered full moon in Aquarius on Friday. There will be some moments of what the F and oh my God, this is awesome. Remember, when you're feeling those things, the big picture outcome of this month is massive blessings. So if things come up that you're not that thrilled about, just step into that knowingness that the big picture is awesome. And I'm Kristen Vallis. I'm a quantum numerologist and wealth expansion coach. And that just means that I help people leverage the energies of the day and the week and the month and really step into and be personally empowered to welcome an abundance of wealth in all of its forms, whether that's money, business expansion and success, health, love and relationships, all of that. It means wealth to me. And that's what I'm here to help you do, is really tap into that abundance that is everyone's birthright to have. So let's talk about this week a little bit. I talked about this in the monthly forecast, that this week is the week of paradigm shifts. And so what we're seeing this week is we've got a few big things happening. Normally they wouldn't necessarily be that big, but because we're in this 3 energy month, there is an amplification of everything that's happening right now. So we're really feeling every change, whether it's normally just kind of a usual shift versus, now it's feeling a lot bigger. So everything is very amplified this month. The creative energy is high, and what you're creating depends on where you're putting your focus. So always remember that throughout the month, and really throughout life, but this month in particular, we're really finding that, we're creating very quickly, things are manifesting very quickly, and if it's not something you're enjoying, then you really need to change your focus up to focus on what you want as opposed to what you don't. And if you are leaning into what you want, you've probably been having a pretty exciting month so far, and that's something to celebrate. And, even if you haven't been doing that, there's cause for celebration anyway, because at any moment you can just decide to change it and change it quickly, because you've got the energy supporting you to do that, especially today. Today is a day of change with the 5 energy coming in. And I've certainly been feeling the changes and the paradigm shifts, and getting a lot of messages about through some triggers actually, but I recognized them right away. And it was really kind of cool because I had been asking what to do about a particular situation. And then I got a couple triggers that made it very clear to me what my next step was. So I was really grateful for that. And that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. So going into this week, we started the week with a 4 energy and we end the week on a 1 energy. So we've got that foundation and leadership, and really stepping into a new experience of leadership within yourself and how you show up in the world. And so and it will be either a new level of that, or maybe this is new for you and you've not been stepping into your role as completely as you would have liked, or maybe not at all. And so you may be taking a baby step or a big step towards this, but you are taking steps towards this week, or you're going to feel really uncomfortable. But I see that, most of the people who would be tuning into this are actually willing and ready to step into this. And you have all of the support you need from the energy coming in. And so this is the good news. There's some shifts this week we're moving out of the heavily emotional state of Cancer that we've been in for the past 3 weeks. And for me, I know that's a welcome change, I think, for many of us. Although I appreciate all of the lessons and the clearings and the things that come up to be released, I'm pretty ready to move on from that. And that is what we will be shifting in our paradigm this week as well, is that we're moving into a more optimistic, I can speak English, optimistic and joyful energy that comes with Leo, and also this idea of leadership again and sovereignty. So we have some planetary movements going on this week that of course coincide with the numerology as well. And so we're seeing that shift into a more spiritual focus, which we've been doing all month, and really landing into modeling that we can choose how we're feeling in any moment and how we show up in any moment, and really being the king or queen of that, and really showing others how to do that. We're here to show the way. We are the way showers. And so that's really coming through this week, and we're really going to see a shift and a step up into that, especially as we go into Thursday, when that Leo season officially begins, because that's a 7 energy day. So that's really about stepping up, doing it and figuring it out as you go, and really just moving into that higher spiritual knowing and intuition that we've been expanding exponentially this month, and continue to do so. So that's coming up on Thursday, but also, and that is also a Jupiter day for the collective. So with that comes big blessings and expansion with that, and lots of good things. Tomorrow, Venus moves into Virgo. That's on Wednesday, the 21st. And so we'll feel that shift a little bit too, because that's moving out of Leo. So we're going to start feeling a little bit more practicality, especially where money's concerned. If you've been spending a little bit more than you would like, maybe some emotional spending, or spending on some things that are a bit of luxury and maybe to do with the home or things like that. Even if you haven't been overspending, but you've just had a bunch of money kind of going out, you may see a more shift to more practical uses of your money during this week coming up and going forward, while Venus is in Virgo. And Mars is still in Leo, and that won't shift until the following week. So we still have that Mars masculine Leo energy going on, as well as the sun shifting into Leo. So we're really going to feel that kingly, queenly energy this week, that sovereignty, and really being pulled to step up into that and being supported to do so. And then on Friday, with the full moon in Aquarius, we're going to be feeling momentum of whatever presents that day. And I say whatever because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So there could be a surprise coming with that full moon. I'm not really sure what that will be about, but be ready for something to possibly shock you or startle you on that day. But again, remembering that it brings blessings with it overall. But lots of momentum, because we have the 8 energy, and that's the collective Saturn day. Those are both about momentum. So whatever happens that day, it is going to have a bit of a legacy energy to it, actually quite a bit of legacy energy to it. And so it will probably last for some time going forward. So those are the key things that are happening coming up this week. And, really, I did talk about a little bit in my monthly forecast. There is a possibility with that full moon on Friday and all that momentum energy. Pay attention to what the crypto market is doing on very late on Thursday night. If it's headed up, then you can probably expect that to continue onto Friday. And if it's headed down, you can probably expect that to continue onto Friday. And whatever it does on Friday is going to be what you can expect for a little while yet. So I'm anticipating it going up, but just because of that optimism and joy coming in with the Leo influence so strong. But we'll see what happens. I'm not a financial advisor, so, this is just for fun that I'm kind of taking a look at this, but we'll see what happens, because it, has been headed downwards in the past week or two. And so it would be nice to see it go back up. And I do think that there's a good setup for that to happen. So that's just kind of a fun aside. This is also a week where we can really, especially with this Uranus influence and this Aquarian influence coming in, about using technology to our advantage to reach as many people as we possibly can, because Aquarius is also about communicating with large numbers of people, congregating with large numbers of people, the greater good. And so this is about really stepping into that role of leadership again in a spiritual aspect of how can we create impact to create a world that we want, that's best for everyone, that's in everyone's highest good, and do it together and come together to do that. And really stepping up into that leadership role and showing people what it's like to live in a 5D realm and, come from this space of love expansion, of heart expansion, instead of always doing things from the mind, which is more of a three-dimensional way of living. And so we can use our technology to our advantage to help us reach as many people as possible and help us clearly and effectively communicate. So our messages this week and always are rooted in love and trust in source. And it's going to be based on how much we've been developing our own love and trust in source all month. And we've been really diving into that in the earlier weeks of this month. So now we're going to be showing and guiding other people how to do the same thing. And we're going to be tapping into what we've learned earlier this month about giving and receiving, but particularly receiving and modeling, understanding that we're all so worthy to receive all of the wealth and abundance that the universe has to offer, and modeling that for others by showing them how to receive. And that it's not only okay to receive, it's spiritual to receive, it's in alignment to receive. We're actually meant to receive an amplification of what we bring to the world, what we put out to the world is meant to come back to us amplified. And so if we feel like we have to do more or give more than we get, that's not the way it works. And so we're here to model for other people how to really welcome wealth in all of its forms. I'm not just talking about money, although that is part of it, but health and love and, balanced, loving, open relationships and whether they're romantic or with family or with partners and coworkers and through business and all of that. We're here to model all of that for everyone. And so really, this is the week to step into that leadership of that and start really knowing that wherever you're at in your journey, you know enough for the people who are coded to you, because everybody's coded to certain people, and the people who are coded to you are meant to hear your message. They're ready for your message and they're waiting for your message. And so that's really, really key to remember, is that you're worthy of being heard and you're ready to be heard, and there are people waiting for you to speak up. So really stepping into that, and also modeling compassion for others who haven't gotten to a certain point in their awakening process, in their consciousness expansion, that maybe some of us would like to see more people at, knowing that and trusting that they will actualize, they will bloom when it is their time. And everyone has their own personal time and their own personal journey, and really honoring that and having compassion and acceptance for all of that, and showing other people how to do that and how it's done, really coming from that heart space and a place of love for everyone. And understanding and knowing too that people are actually shifting and expanding faster than we think they are. And so even if we don't see that evidence right now, to really trust that it's happening, because that's what we're creating. And knowing that because we're creating that, we can trust that that's actually coming through, and looking for the signs and synchronicities of that, of course. and knowing that that it's happening, trusting that it's happening, despite what you may see in the outside world. So that's what I would lean into this week, and what the energies are showing us. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, and how you're planning to step up into leadership this week. And have a wonderful week. See you next week.